Hello, everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining our inaugural webinar series, Can We Talk? We are excited about this series and we hope we are addressing a need for our school community. As we've done in the past with the Teacher Supply Store and our cyber kits that we issued in the beginning of the school year, our instructional grants and our scholarships, we continue to try and be conscious of the needs of our school community. It is through the support of the community that we are able to support these initiatives. I would like to thank our many sponsors, especially our annual sponsor, RRMM Architects and their partners, our presenting sponsor for this series, Newport News Shipbuilding, and parts of this webinar was also made possible by a grant from the OC Healthcare Foundation. This community can support these initiatives and our staff and students through our annual school and community campaign. Please consider going to suffolkeducation.org and make a donation. And this information, as always, will be found in our chat box. First, let me go ahead and introduce our panelists and our presenters for tonight. So Dr. Jennifer Brown is the Community Learning Manager for the Suffolk Public Library. She oversees all programming and other learning opportunities for the Suffolk community for all ages and abilities. Can you wave good evening to everybody, Dr. Brown? And then Mike, I'm gonna mess up your name, but Frickinence, did I do close enough?
Frickinese, thanks for trying.
And I asked you about it yesterday. I should have remembered, but you know, that's what this gray hair is all about. I forget things. Is the recreation manager and certified park and recreation executive with Suffolk Parks and Recreation. After retiring from the United States Navy, thank you for your service, Mike, with 22 years of service, he earned a master's degree in exercise science. Mike has over 12 years of providing recreation services to the Suffolk community. He is responsible for managing recreation centers, fitness centers, sports programs, before and after school camps, summer camps, the city pool, and the Suffolk Art Gallery. Mike's mission and that of the Parks and Recreation Department is to create memorable experiences through a culture of fun and customer service excellence. And let's see if my word of the day calendar worked. Is the exercise science called kinesiology?
They're similar, but different programs.
Okay.
Close.
I was trying to be impressive,
Yeah.
but you know. All right, well, I am going to turn off my ugly mug and turn it over to you guys. I believe you're starting us out tonight, Dr. Brown?
Yes.
So give me just a second here and I'll make you the presenter. Come on. There we go. All right, it's all you.
Alrighty, so let me see if I can remember how to do this. I don't see the nice little box that I had last time to share my screen. Oh, there it is. There it is. We're good. All right. Let me just do this and get us started. So, my name is Dr. Jennifer Brown, and I am the Community Learning Manager for Suffolk Public Library. And like they said, that means that I manage all of our programming from the little guys all the way up through adults and seniors for all ages, abilities, and content. And so what I'm here tonight to talk to you a little bit about is how you can use the resources at the library in order to kind of de-stress and take your mind off of things. You know, we're living in really, high stress times. We're out of our normal routines, but the Suffolk Public Library has a lot of resources that you can use in order to read for pleasure or learn a new hobby or a new skill, or even to socialize a little bit. So that's how we're really trying to focus our energy during this time, is to provide those sorts of opportunities for our community. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what that means for all of us. And so I'm actually going to have them do a poll for me. So the poll question that I would like to ask you all is kind of how you want to do your, how do you want to participate with programs? So we have a lot of different options for that, so that we can try to really figure out what works best for our community. And so we are looking at a number of things, such as providing programs that are recorded so that you can do them on your time. We're looking at things like where we're providing kits of supplies so that you can really have the materials to participate in the program, anything of that kind of nature. So we're basing our offerings off of what you guys are looking for and what you want. I don't know how to actually see the poll, so give me 1 second.
So we're going to give you about 10 more seconds to complete that poll.
Things are so different on the back end of this. But in the meantime, what we really want you to know is that we are still here. So we opened back up for curbside service back in June. So what that means is you can go online and you can access your our catalog. You can put books on hold using your account. We notify you when they are in. You can drive up to our building, call the number, tell us you're here. We'll check them out for you and bring them out to you. So that's one service that we have been doing. In December, we opened up our buildings for technology access only. So you can't browse the stacks right now, but if you are in need of a computer or internet access, you are able to come in and use our computers for an hour at a time. You just have to answer a couple questions on our questionnaire and wear a mask, but that technology is available to you. Since we're not doing browsing inside of our libraries right now, what we've started doing is pop-up browsing, both at our North Suffolk libraries and our Morgan Memorial libraries. And what that means is we're putting high interest books and a lot of new books, because we have so many new books that haven't really gotten into the hands of people yet because we can't have you in our buildings yet. But what we're doing is we're putting them on carts and bringing them outside so that you can browse in a socially distanced kind of way. We can check them out for you, and then you can go along on your day. Like I said, we also have a wide variety of classes and events that we are still doing. Our calendar is pretty stocked up for a lot of different types of topics that you might be interested in. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. We also have, if you're not interested in physical copies of materials, we also have a lot of electronic resources through our Hoopla service, where you can download materials to your cell phone or your e-reader or whatever you have at your disposal, computer even, so that you can read the materials on your time as well, especially if you're not, we understand a lot of people aren't into touching things that other people have touched right now, but these are all still available. One thing I forgot to mention is our printing service. We now are offering up to 20 pages of printing for free. So if you need anything printed, you can come on in and do that. And you can also apply for a library card online now. So you just go online and sign up for a library card. You can do that online. You'll get an electronic library card so that you have access to all of our electronic resources. And then if you are interested in kind of turning that over to a physical library card, we can easily do that for you as well once we're able to see each other in person again. So like I said, we have programs going on all of the time. So these are just kind of a sampling of what we're doing. So we are doing a weekly family story time, and those are recorded. So we know that families are on their own schedules right now, especially if you have, a kid in elementary school, a kid in middle school, and you have a little toddler running around. You're kind of doing things in your own routine and trying to have your own rituals and kind of stay sane at the same time. So some of our programs are recorded so that you can view them whenever you need to. They're available on Facebook and on YouTube. If you go to our website, you'll see where all of that is available as well. And I will show you around, give you that address in a few minutes as well. So that's just a basic story time. A lot of families are using it as kind of a bedtime ritual, which is kind of nice. On Saturdays, we have a story time and a craft. So you can register for the program. We have kits available with all of the supplies that you need. You tune in. It's a recorded program again. You tune in on your time. You just go find the video and do the craft along with Mr. Corey. He's the one who's kind of leading that charge a little bit. We have nailed it competitions so that you can do things like make cake pops with your family. Barks is a program where you can read to therapy dogs, and we're doing that online as well, where we bring you into breakout rooms so your little guys can practice their reading skills. That's actually been a pretty big hit, and it's been working really well. We have Baby and Me programs for families with young children. We've actually been using that as almost like a social support system as well, because families with young children are having an especially difficult time right now. So being able just to talk to other moms and dads who are going through something similar has been really great for those families. And then last but not least, we are doing our Battle of the Books competition again this year. So we've opened that up for 4th and 5th graders. It's a competition style program where kids read. I think we're doing 5 books this year. You read them, you become experts in them, and then we ask you a bunch of questions. And so you can either talk to your school who might be participating, or if not, we actually have an option right now where we will put a community group together with you, with other kids who are interested but might not have a school team. So those are just some examples of kind of kids and families programs. Teens, we are more focused on that socialization aspect because we know not seeing your friends in person can be really difficult, not having those kind of like hallway conversations, and that teens are under a lot of stress right now. So we are doing things like virtual, and these are all live programs, so that you actually have real-time interaction with other human beings, which is one of our goals for our programming, especially for teens and adults. And so we're doing a teen chill night once a month where you can come in and learn some mindfulness techniques and to really learn how to de-stress and handle what all of that means, and some emotional regulation as well. We have teen make and takes, which is more just kit based. So we have instructions along with the materials. You register on our calendar, and we make those materials available during curbside pickup. That one is where like the instructions are in there. It's kind of a fun activity that you can do at home. We also have anime paint night, which Mr. Corey, again, I talk a lot about Mr. Corey because he does a lot of our art-based programs. He's our crafty guy. Anyway, so he has been doing anime paint night where he kind of almost does like a paint by numbers kind of situation, so that he walks you through how to do the painting with him. I like to think of it as a Bob Ross style program. And then we have a teen hangout that we do weekly on our Discord server, where teens can get together. They can play things like Among Us together, they can socialize, they can chat. Some kids like to just be on camera while they're doing homework. I guess it's just this familiarity of just having people around you a little bit. So again, we're just trying to create an online social environment for our teens. For our adults, we have kind of a larger variety of things happening. We've heard a lot from our community that they're interested in things like sewing and quilting and knitting, as well as cooking. So we've been responsive with that in developing our Delicious Mess program and our Suffolk Sewing Circle programs. And these are kind of introductory level classes that are at this moment recorded. So again, you can do them on your own time because we know that you are super busy. And we are starting to build Facebook groups around these as well. So for example, for our cooking classes, we have a Cook the Cookbooks Facebook group so that people can chat about recipes that they tried or ask for advice on cooking techniques and things of that nature. And we're really trying to highlight Suffolk cuisine in that, and we'll be bringing in some local chefs in to talk up with us as well. We also have kind of more of that fun programming with our pub trivia at home. We do it once a month. We kind of go back and forth between pub trivia as well as like a Family Feud style program where again, you get that socialization. So it's live. So you're interacting with other human beings who don't live in your household so that you can get that outside interaction as well. Get Creative is more of a craft-based program. And then we are finding that people really want to talk and in kind of more of a relaxed environment. So we're trying a coffee and conversation group where you can talk about anything from current events to what your plans are for the week, whatever the case may be, kind of like those conversations that you might have in a coffee house. And then something new that we've been trying that has had a lot of great success that we're really excited about it is this concept of a mystery in a box. So it's kind of like those subscription boxes where you have like all these clues and you have to figure out who did it or, you know, whatnot. So we tried it out in January and it was a huge hit, especially with kind of our younger adults and you know, adults who have families who are looking for something else to do other than playing their kids' games. And so that's been a lot of fun too. And you have to like, at the end of the game, you have to guess who, what the answer to the mystery is. And sometimes there's the answer and sometimes there's not. But we're also kind of incentivizing that in a way so that when you submit your answers, we will do a drawing for you as well, and you get a little prize. So those are some of the things that we're currently doing. It is by no means the only things that we're doing, but I don't have graphics for some of our upcoming things, but I thought I'd highlight them real quick. So if you've ever been to Iconicon, we've done Iconicon for the past 5 years, and it's this kind of like fandom-based Comic-Con like program. We usually get a pretty large crowd for it, and people like to come in and dress up in cosplay, and we have all sorts of competitions and panel talks and things of that nature. And we're still doing it. So last year we ended up having to push it back until August. We usually do it in the spring, but we pushed it back to August because we kept having to reinvent what we were going to be doing. And now we have a pretty good structure and setup for that. So it's going to be running for an entire week. So we have about 3 programs a day. And instead of it being one whole long day of events, it's spread out a little bit more, and it's happening during spring break. So we're hopeful that families will be able to participate since kids are out of school during that time too. But we're still having our art contest. We're still having our Mario Kart competition. We're still having our cosplay contests, as well as a writing contest this year. And the winner will actually get their piece published in the Suffolk News Herald, which is kind of cool. We are still going to be doing our summer reading challenge June through August for about 8 weeks. And so we will probably start pushing it out there in the next couple of months to get you guys ready and revved up, and so that you'll start logging your books. And there's going to be lots of prizes throughout the summer for that. We have our Amazing Peanut Chase coming up in June. And that's like our citywide scavenger hunt, where you have to like get your clues and you have to figure out your next stop, and you go around with your family. We did this last year. Again, we pushed it back a little bit because we had to kind of make sure that we were being safe about it. But we probably had our largest numbers last year because people were ready to kind of be out of their house by the end of the summer. And this was something that they could do with the people in their germ circle. That's what we're kind of calling all the people that you choose to be around. They can do it in their germ circle, and it's kind of this concept of like there are other people kind of around you that you're not close to that are also doing the same thing. So it brings a kind of energy to it. So that'll be happening. We'll be celebrating Juneteenth in June. We will also be having, we're still kind of hammering out more details, but we're going to be having trying to remember what they called it, a Suffolk selfie search, where we'll have places pop up around the city that are going to be good like selfie places. And that's going to be kind of all summer. So it's part scavenger hunt, part like selfie taking, part just get out of the house and go do something. And then in August, mid-August, we'll be celebrating Free Comic Book Day. So we have a lot going on. And like I said, it's a lot of different formats because we're trying to meet the needs of a variety of people, but we're really trying to be responsive in terms of interest and formats that you all are looking for. So what I can say with all of that is I threw a lot of information at you. There's no way you're ever going to remember it all. I can't remember it all half the time. But when in doubt, just visit our website. So it's simple. It's www.suffolkpubliclibrary.com. And we have a tab at the top that says what's happening, and that'll take you directly to our event calendar, so that you can see all the things that are happening. There's pretty detailed descriptions. You'll quickly see what needs registration and what doesn't. We have information on each entry about where everything's going to be airing. Right now, we are relying very heavily on our Facebook groups or our Facebook pages and our YouTube pages in order to push content out. So if you haven't already, make sure that you become, that you like our page so that you can get all the up-to-date information. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter as well. But I would say our Facebook page is our probably most active page in social media content right now. And then if we want to go ahead and do the last poll, it's just a real quick kind of check to see if you learned anything new about the offerings that the library has, so that we can kind of just get a sense of where we are. And so that is what I have for you. So I will open it up, I guess, to questions. If anybody has any questions about our offerings, or if you whatever you want to share, I'm down.
So we'll invite people to put questions in the chat box. And we've added the library link to the chat box as well. So we're looking to see,
Awesome.
close the poll. Just about everybody learned something. So, well, everybody did learn something. So that's good.
So I did my job tonight. I earned my paycheck.
You did. Just so you, I don't know that we shared with you what the poll results in the beginning were, but people wanted things that could be done on demand,
Okay.
as well as things that didn't require necessarily being in requiring a computer. And
Makes
it looks
sense.
like you've got a lot of those. You've got a lot of those options out there. So thank you very much. Let me go ahead here and take control back here for just a second.
Go for it.
So, if you're enjoying the series, there are other opportunities to be a part of the Suffolk Education Foundation, and there are other series that we have planned. The next series for next Tuesday is combating the COVID-15. When we started college, we had the freshman 15. I think it's aptly been called the COVID-15 as we've gone through this pandemic. We're going to have experts from Optima, the insurance company, as well as Centera, as well as a presentation from our own College and Career Academy that's going to give us some healthy snacks. So that, and then the next Tuesday, very excited to invite the Cameron K. Gallagher Foundation to be a part of this and talk about mindfulness and self-care. They really focus on trying to take the stigma away from mental health. So, and they are a great source for us. So let me go ahead here and switch it over to Mike to give you control, and make you the presenter. Mike, there you go. We're gonna turn on your webcam and hide my mug. And it's all you, sir. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
All right, unmuted.
Good to see you,
Fantastic.
Mike.
All right, thank you very much. And welcome again to Can We Talk Stress Less Neighborhood Resources. Thank you for the introduction. And this is Neighborhood Resources, Parks and Recreation. So, of course, we understand that research indicates that physical activity can help us out a lot with controlling stress and anxiety and even depression. In fact, just a proximity to green spaces can improve mental health. Physical activity can reduce tension, improve mood, sleep, self-esteem, mental health, prevent and manage cardiovascular disease, onset of clinical depression, anxiety, and one of my personal favorites, physical activity can help control arthritis as well as a whole host of other things. We know now that strength training using weights can help manage arthritic pain. And I put in there parenthetical move your body because when I was a fitness specialist next door here at East Suffolk Recreation Center, I got asked a lot, what does that mean, move your body? And so you say, Mike, you're asking me to go out there and get physically active so I can help manage the stress that I'm going through right now. What does that really mean? And the first thing that probably pops into a lot of your heads is, he's asking me to go to the fitness center and jump on a treadmill or go out for a run or grab my bike. It's not something I'm really interested in. Well, when I say move your body, it just means that what we'd like you to do is become physically active so that you can at least elevate your heart rate for an extended period of time. So that could be anything from walking on one of our trails to raking leaves, working in the garden. It could be even washing the car. It could be vigorous housework. You're just elevating your heart rate. But I'm going to give you a lot of possibilities you can do with Suffolk Parks and Recreation. You know, and unfortunately, it's kind of a catch-22 situation. Research also indicates that the stressors that you're experiencing now, the anxiety, potentially the depression you may be exhibiting because of all the stressors in your life, like some of these on the slide, can reduce physical activity. You become more stressed, potentially more depressed. You don't want to get physically active. You'd rather get home from work and hit the couch, have something to eat and hit the couch. You'd rather get up Saturday morning and stay on the couch. You're not really interested in getting out and getting physically active. So what are we going to do? Does this mean it's a no-win situation? No. No, it certainly doesn't. What I want to do is show you how Parks and Recreation in your community can help you. And what does that mean? That means I want to show you that it's our job to educate you on the benefits of leisure and physical activity. So you know, okay, I get it. I get why I should go out there and become physically active. I get why I need to get outside, find a way to move my body, find a way to help me with mental and emotional health. So knowing that, that means it's also our job at Parks and Recreation to reduce barriers, meaning make it easier for you to get active. And how do we do that? Well, one of the ways we do that is to provide you with a lot of options. And those are going to be kind of like the topics that I'm going to cover tonight, or the different areas that I'm going to cover. Options like our facilities, our parks, our trails, and our programs. When I was a fitness specialist, and I get asked a lot, you know, what can I do to help me stick with my program? I want to get physically active for my physical and mental well-being, but I'm having a hard time sticking to it. And I would often share with people that research kind of shows that there's a lot of different ways to help you stick with a program. Some seem to work with most people. For example, having a variety of options seems to help most people. Also, finding something that's fun and that you want to stick with. So again, hopefully tonight, I can show you some things that are fun to do and will give you options. So you find something you enjoy, you're more apt to do it, you're more apt to stick to it. And if that gets kind of old, well, maybe there's something else you can do as well. So let's, before we get going, put up the first poll question. And this is going to help us a lot to tell us a little bit about where you're at right now and some of the things you're interested in. So if you could answer the poll question, and what I would also like you to do is during this presentation, consider for me, or at least ask yourself, if my family and I didn't have all of these barriers to overcome, what type of activity would I enjoy doing? So if you think about that question, maybe that activity that you enjoy doing will pop up tonight. You'll see it tonight. So think about that. What would I like to do if I didn't have all these things preventing me from doing it? Also, what I'd like you to do during this is discuss with yourself or your family or whoever's watching with you, which of these services that I'm going to cover tonight would you like to do together as a family? So another thing I learned in studying health and wellness and exercise science is that to help you with adherence to any type of health and wellness program that you want to start is finding a buddy, a friend, or someone in your family to do with you. So if you can do this with your family, it'll help even more. Okay, and I think we're done with that, and we're probably about ready to see the results of that poll. Are we done with the poll?
Yeah, so it's showing, and it says the 50% of the people still don't know what's being offered, and then it's a mixed bag of all the other answers.
Okay,
Services
fantastic.
people are residents, don't know the location of facilities, or we're too busy.
Got it. Thank you very much. Okay, so hopefully we can go over some of that tonight. Now, there's a lot of stuff for me to cover. Fortunately, Parks and Recreation has a lot to offer you, but it's going to be too much for you to possibly remember. So if you can find out where to get the information, that'll be half the battle. Let me share that with you. Much of what I'm going to show you tonight can be found on our website. So if you go to City of Suffolk Parks and Recreation, if you go to the City of Suffolk and go to Government and on across to Parks and Recreation Department, oops, excuse me, Parks and Recreation Department, you'll find our website and you'll find all the programs and services that we offer. And you'll even find this handy program guide right here that tells you everything we've got going on right now. By the way, this program guide is not just Parks and Recreation. It's a combined city program guide, so it'll also tell you about everything the library is offering right now. So Parks, Recreation, and Library. So that's a great place to find everything that I'm talking about right now, as well as all of the contact information. So if you're like, hey, what did he tell me about parks that night, or the dog park, or the skate park? Well, this guide on our website will help you find that information, find the phone number. Also, if you like us on social media, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll get a lot of this information. Let me show you that really quick. On our Facebook channel, our Facebook page, you can find out just about everything we've got going on. Karaoke night that's getting ready to happen. Here's an example of one of our group exercise classes that I'm going to talk to you about here in a little bit. Another group exercise class that's going on, a hike outside in one of our parks, some special events, T-ball registration. I'll share all of that with you here really soon. Or if you, again, as far as social media, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's Suffolk Parks and Rec right here, you'll see under videos, we'll have videos and of a lot of our classes, of our arts and crafts, as well as a lot of the information that I'm sharing with you tonight. So there's a lot of different places you can find the information that we're talking about tonight. Move this back over here. Now, so first place I want to talk to you, first group is facilities. So we're going to talk about facilities, parks, trails, outdoor programs, and programming in general. And keeping in mind a place where you can go get physically active, or you can work on your health and wellness, your overall health and wellness. We have two what we call freestanding recreation centers. One of them is the East Suffolk Recreation Center, also known as the Downtown or 6th Street Rec Center, because it's located right in the center of the downtown area. The other is the Whaleyville Recreation Center, which is 132 Robertson Street. That's in the Whaleyville community, which for those who aren't familiar with Suffolk, is in the far southwestern end of Suffolk, near the North Carolina border, right near Gates County. And they both are open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon, closed Sundays. They offer very similar amenities, and I'll highlight some of those for you. Each one of the recreation centers has multi-purpose rooms, by the way, that are available for rental. So if you need to do a party or some sort of social event, we do have some COVID protocols in place, so call if you're interested in something like that. Both have game rooms. Here's a great example of a game room at the Whaleyville Recreation Center, 2 pool tables and some other types of game tables available in there. They both have senior centers, full service kitchen. They both have computer labs. This is the computer lab at the Whaleyville Recreation Center. East Suffolk is very similar. Great place to go do homework or work on any type of schoolwork. Both have a gymnasium. Both have a full service fitness center. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. And both require a membership. Call to get all the details about the membership. The information is on our website, but essentially what you're going to do is you're going to get an annual membership to the recreation center. Then if you'd like to use the fitness center that I'm going to show you, it's a monthly membership, an additional monthly membership. Let's take a look at those real quick. So our fitness centers are what we call in the business full service fitness centers. At 2,500 square feet, full service, they are very similar to what you'd find at Planet Fitness or Anytime Fitness, meaning that we have cardio equipment, strength equipment, free weight equipment, and a bunch of accessories. So for example, this is East Suffolk Recreation Center. Here's some of the cardio machines, treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, upright bikes, recumbent bikes, ergometers, stair climber now, all available to you. And a whole host of exercise equipment. So free weight equipment, you can slap the plate on there, pick up the dumbbell, or what we call circuit selectorized equipment. Those are the machines where you pull the pin and you select the different weights in the weight stack, and there's one machine for each major body part, so you can work your way around. Each one of our fitness centers is staffed, and is staffed with someone who can give you an orientation on the equipment. So if you're a little bit uncomfortable about coming into a fitness center and starting to work out on any equipment, or you might be a little intimidated by using a treadmill or picking up some free weights, our staff can give you an orientation, show you how to use the machine, start them, stop them, and all the safety features. And we have a fitness specialist available who can give you an assessment, meaning he or she can tell you your baseline physical fitness status and then help you design a workout program. And then we do have personal training available for a very reasonable price. This is a picture of the group exercise room at the Whaleyville Fitness Center. We don't have a spin class right now because of COVID. We can't have the social distancing, but when that's all over, we'll have spin available for you. You can come on out and do that with us. Health and wellness is not just physical activity. Opportunities to de-stress doesn't have to be about just moving your body. It can also be emotional and mental health as well. And we have a wonderful facility that can address that. And that's the Suffolk Art Gallery. It's a beautiful building at 118 Bosley Avenue, very close to the downtown area on the western side off of West Washington Street. It's open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., closed on Mondays. Now, many people are surprised to learn that Suffolk has an art gallery. Many people are even more surprised to learn that Parks and Recreation Department has an art gallery, but we do, and we're very proud of it and the exhibits that happen there. So an art gallery is a little bit different than a museum. One of the differences is that a museum, for the most part, has a permanent collection that's exhibited. And the art gallery, the art is rotated throughout the year, different exhibits. For example, the one that's coming up in March is our 37th annual juried photography exhibit. It's the longest running juried photography exhibit in Hampton Roads. And we're accepting that art this weekend, and then it'll be put up next week, and then it'll be available for the public. So you can come to our facility. You can come see the art. We have social distancing procedures in place. You can see in this picture, we've got some dots that you need to step on, or at least help you keep distant from non-family members. If you're interested in seeing, like, okay, I'm not so sure I want to go there, I want to take a look at the types of things that the art gallery has to offer, if you go to our website again, and you go, I'll show you the breadcrumbs here. You're at City of Suffolk, you're at the Parks and Recreation website again, you go to Art Gallery down the left-hand side. The Cultural Arts Coordinator has archived all of the previous exhibits for the last few years. So you can take a look at them and say, oh, that is the kind of art I'd like to go see. Maybe they've got something for me. For example, this is one of our virtual exhibits we had up in May of last year. It was all virtual because the building was completely shut down. So all of the artwork was put up, but we created this exhibit so people could see it without having to come to the art gallery. Some beautiful things. If you want to see, for example, what last year's juried photography exhibit looked like, you can see here, or some of the previous exhibits. This is one of my favorite, Art of the Functional. The pieces had a functional purpose. You can scroll through and look through the pieces and see another. So maybe you don't want to come to the art gallery, or maybe you just want to get an idea of what's available at the art gallery if you want to decide that you'd like to visit. Another facility that people are often surprised to learn that Suffolk has and that Parks and Recreation operates is a municipal pool. So we do have one municipal pool. So it is the only public pool for the city of Suffolk. And it's a Cypress Park pool. It's located at 2001 Arizona Avenue. That's in the Hollywood neighborhood, again, near the downtown area. It is a seasonal pool, which means it's open from Memorial Day until just before Labor Day. Primary purpose of this pool is for learn to swim or swim lessons programs and open swim. And during the season, it's going to be open for open swim Tuesdays through Sundays, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Follow us on Facebook or check out our website for the upcoming swim lesson schedule. Not posted yet, but it will be, and then it'll be open for registration for kids 5 to 15, and we also have adult lessons as well. This pool is free and open to Suffolk residents. It's a beautiful facility. Come on down and check us out. A great way to beat the heat and stay physically active. Parks is the next area that we can help you out with combating stress, of course. The City of Suffolk Parks and Recreation Department has between 1,800 and 2,000 acres of park space or open space available. A lot of those are neighborhood parks. What I'd like to talk to you about tonight is what we call our regional parks. We got 4 regional parks. They're kind of like what we would consider crown jewel parks. And that's the Bennett's Creek Park, Lake Mead Park, Lone Star Lakes Park, and Sleepy Hole Park. Again, our website will show you all those locations, but those are the addresses of those. Thank you for putting that up, or you can click on the link right there in the chat and you can get right at the parks. Let me show you some of the things that are available in our parks. Our parks have all very similar amenities, but some of them have some very different highlights that I would like to point out to you. For example, we've got a horseshoe pit, and not just a horseshoe pit, but a tournament-ready horseshoe pit at Sleepy Hole Park. This is it right here. Lake Mead Park has what we call an inclusive playground. And an inclusive playground is an ADA accessible playground. How you can tell is you see this flooring right here, where you might normally see a wood chip or vinyl wood chip flooring, we have this rubberized type of flooring, so it's accessible to youth and adults with disabilities or in wheelchairs. And the playground equipment is set up the same, and that is at the Lake Mead Park, which is in the downtown area. Look for the water tower and you can find that. We are in the process of building one at the Bennett's Creek Park in the northern Suffolk area right now as well. There's an archery range at Lone Star Lakes Park. Bennett's Creek Park has an 18-hole disc golf course. If you want to throw a disc golf through the woods. Both Bennett's Creek and Lake Mead have tennis courts, but Lake Mead has what we call the Howard Mass tennis courts. That's these right here. So it's 10 tennis courts, 4 of them, which you can see in this picture right here, are lit, and those are open to the public, so you can come anytime. And something else I'd like to share with you is that these parks also have kayak and canoe launches. So for those of you who are familiar with Suffolk, know that Suffolk is surrounded by water, a lot of access to water. Not much of it is public access anymore. We're working on trying to change that, but we do have some of the public access to the water around here, some of which you can get to with your canoe or kayak. And I want to highlight a couple of those for you. They're available at Lone Star, again, Lone Star, Sleepy Hole, Bennett's Creek, and Constance Wharf and Marina. Here is what some of those look like. So this one here is the Lone Star Lakes. So you see this pier, walk your kayak or canoe on down the pier. You can launch right here off the launch down here. This is one of the Lone Star Lakes. As you can see, the water is quiet and calm. So if you're a beginner and you'd like to give the kayak or canoe thing a try, or you want to take part in some of our programs which happen here, the water is a little bit more beneficial to beginners because of the quiet and calm nature of it. But we do have other accesses. This is Sleepy Hole Park. You can see this really long, nice, beautiful pier here. Take advantage of some of these things. This really nice, long, beautiful pier right here is out over the Nansemond River. It's also a perfect place to fish from. You just bring your canoe and kayak down here, walk on down this ramp, put it on these rollers, and off into the river you're going. Now, this is the Nansemond River, and you can kind of see from the picture, you have to be a little bit more careful. It's a little bit more challenging because you need to pay attention to tides and the wind. So head off this direction, and you're heading up towards the confluence of the James River, Chesapeake Bay, and the Elizabeth Rivers. So you're getting way out there in some open water, and head on this way, and you're heading towards the downtown area. This is the Bennett's Creek Park. So again, bring your canoe and kayak down here. You're into the Bennett's Creek. And as you can see, the water's a little bit more calm than the Nansemond River. So again, not a bad place for beginners, but you do have to pay attention to tides here, this direction, and you're heading towards the Nansemond River. That's why this Bennett's Creek Park access is very popular with boaters in Suffolk, because you can also launch a boat here. Let me erase that for you. You can also launch a boat here, and again, Bennett's Creek will get you access to the Nansemond River, and from the Nansemond River, you can get to the confluence up there, James River, Chesapeake Bay, Elizabeth Rivers, and if you want to, towards the Monitor Merrimack Bridge, Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, and even further, if you really, really want to, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. And this last one I want to show you right here, kayak and canoe launch, is the Constance Wharf and Marina. This is in the downtown area behind the Hilton Garden Inn. So if you want to bring your canoe and kayak here, you walk on down put your canoe and kayak on the rollers, launch into the Nansemond River. If you go in this direction, you're heading towards downtown North Main Street, Kimberly Bridge. Off to the right, and you're heading up further north on the Nansemond River towards Sleepy Hole Park. So a lot of great places to get some water access here. Now here's a little bit more, or give you a little bit better sense of what we've got to offer in our parks. Now the parks are normally closed sunset to sunrise, but we do offer some programs that get you into our parks after dark. This one is an example of a night program where we had a kayak night paddle and some canoeing. This is an example of one of our canoeing classes. And this is an example here of the skate park. We have two skate parks. We have one at Lake Mead Park and one at Bennett's Creek Park. You can do horseback riding at Sleepy Hole Park. You can do horseback riding at Sleepy Hole Park. And this one here in the center is also Lone Star Lakes, and it'll give you another good example of how calm and quiet the water can be sometimes. This was one of our yoga paddleboard programs, and it'll be back this year. So if you're interested in trying something like that on some calm water and challenge yourself, we have a dog park in Bennett's Creek, in Lake Mead Park, again near the downtown area. Please call the main office if you want some more information about the dog park, because you have to register your dog and make sure you have a license. But it's a beautiful place to get outside with your pet. Also available are trails for you to get outside and get physically active all throughout Suffolk. As you can see here on the slide, in our 430 square miles of space in Suffolk, we've got trails all over the place. So how do you find out where to walk? Well, we have a walking guide for you. Again, if you go back to our Parks and Recreation website and you go to the parks page, which the foundation was nice enough to share and hit or the link to it, and you scroll on down and click on this walking guide right here. We've got a great PDF document here of all the trails available to us. And not just trails through our parks and through the woods, but let's say, for example, you work near downtown. So you work near Hall Street, you work near the Health and Human Services building, and you've got an opportunity at lunchtime to go for a little walk. Well, here's an example of a trail that you can walk nice and safe around the parking lot and around this fountain area. So a lot of great trails, one of which I really want to highlight for you. Suffolk is working very hard to complete our portion of what is called the Southampton Roads Trail. The Hampton Roads or the Southampton Roads municipalities are working on putting together a trail that will connect downtown Suffolk all the way to Virginia Beach, in fact, all the way to the Virginia Beach Boardwalk. We've got part of ours done. Portsmouth, Chesapeake, and Virginia Beach are working on theirs. Virginia Beach has part of theirs done. Ours is about 3.5 miles right now, and it has two trails head near Kings Highway, one of them, and near Town Point Road, another one. I'm going to show you where those are in a little bit more detail here in a second. But this is what we call the Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail. Our part of the Southampton Roads Trail is approximately 3.5 miles long, so about 7 miles out and back. It's a wide, ADA accessible, dog friendly, walking, running, biking trail. No motorized vehicles, please. Here's an example of the trailhead near Driver Community, very wide, paved. And this will give you an idea of where it's located. So this here is the Driver Community. So this is the Nansemond River, this is Nansemond Parkway, Kings Highway. That big turn, that's where a trailhead is and where there's plenty of parking. The other end is in the Pewsville community. It does cross Shoulders Hill Road, so be careful there if you want to take the whole 3.5 miles out and then back. And this will give you an idea of what the trail looks like in different parts of the trail. So again, biking, walking, jogging, wide, a lot of great scenery out there. As along with facilities, parks, and trails, we do have programs available to help you with your physical and mental health and wellness. Now, because of the pandemic, we had to shut down a lot of our facilities. Some of them have been reopening on a limited capacity. Many of our programs had to be shut down. Some have been brought back at a limited capacity. If they can be done while still doing social distancing and with masks in place, then we are having them face-to-face. But many of ours have moved to a virtual platform. If you go to our website, we have a virtual recreation page. Again, if you like us on Facebook, you'll find all of these things that I'm about to share with you. For example, many of our group exercise programs, we took them, put them on Facebook. They occur at the regularly scheduled times, but because they're on Facebook, we also record them. So you can go back and you can watch them at whatever, whenever you want, at your own convenience and with whoever you want. So for example, if you check out our Facebook Live, you'll see an adult aerobics program, Kids in Motion, that's for the kids. So it's definitely at a pace for children, and the exercises are appropriate for children. If you want something with a little bit more high intensity interval training, that's where you go really hard for a short period of time, and then you do some active rest in between. Tabata, which is a very similar program, you get a great workout in 30 minutes, you'll be wiped out. Fit Factory and Strength and Tone. So if you want to learn how to use some free weights, Strength and Tone is the one for you. And again, along in keeping with mental and emotional health and wellness, we've got a lot of crafts that you can do to keep your hands and your mind busy. The Art Gallery has produced a lot of terrific programming, and they have an Art Day Wednesday, one Wednesday a month. The next one's coming up on March 17th. But at the risk of sounding like a broken record, if you like us on Facebook or follow us on other social media, you can go back and you can rewatch these at any time. Here is what some of those will look like. So this up in the top left, this is Miss Betty Cartwright. She's been with us for over 30 years doing our adult aerobics program, and she was nice enough to move this indoors for us. So you can follow along with her. And this is the type of group exercise program that you can do standing up with her, or you can do in a chair as well. Here are some others. This is Jacob, he's doing a core exercise. This is Mark teaching you how to use weights and Strength and Tone. This in the bottom left is our Kids in Motion program. So here's some children that joined us for the program at the Whaleyville Recreation Center. Our virtual program, again, these are very well produced programs by the staff over at the Art Gallery and coordinated by our cultural arts coordinator once a month. Check them out on Facebook. This is an example of how to make snowflake garlands that happened in December. You can watch it, figure out what the materials you need are, then go back and rewatch it again once you have all the materials on hand. We do have some outdoor programs going on. So because of the pandemic, we had to shut down many of our youth and adult sports, but some of them have come back. For example, you can register now for adult co-ed softball, for t-ball, and for soccer. So if you go to our Parks and Recreation webpage, let me do that one more time for you. If you go to our Parks and Recreation webpage, and you're here, if you scroll on down, and right next to the guide that I show you, if you select online registrations, you'll get to our registration website. If you've never registered for anything with us before, please log in and create yourself an account now, and then you can see all the programs we have available. Now, you don't have to do that if you want to see. For example, select youth right there, and you can scroll down here and go, let's learn about youth soccer right now. When's it start? What are the ages? 4 to 17. You can put that in your cart, purchase the program, pay for it online. This is when it's available for registration. It actually practices start the week of March 22nd. Same thing for T-ball. Practices start the week of March 22nd. So all of our stuff is available in there. Feel free to call me though if you've got any questions. We also have, with the department, we're very fortunate to have an outdoor recreation specialist. It's her job to connect Suffolk with our outdoor spaces, with all of our green spaces, with all of our waterways, with our parks, to introduce you to what we have available and for outdoor education. So we've got a lot of programs available. For example, a moon hike, full moon hike that's coming up in March. By the way, a lot of stuff. Feel free to write down this number right here, 514-4518. That is our outdoor recreation specialist. Talk to her and say, hey, I heard Mike talk about all the great things you're doing outside in the parks and the programs coming up. Could you give me a little bit more information about the full moon hike? And she'll tell you about that. Can you give me more information about the archery clinic that's coming up in April? That is a lot of fun. Even if you're not familiar with archery, if you want to learn how, if you want to teach your children how, I've done this with my staff as a team building exercise, and it's a blast just being able to nail that thing with the arrow. It is a lot of fun. Also, too many to list, but coming up, please check out our website or call the number. We've got a boater safety course coming up. We've got a bird walk coming up at Losar Lakes. We've got another Galaxy night hike, so another opportunity to get into our park at night that's not normally open to the public. And we've got a bird paddling tour. This picture is an example of a previous bird paddling tour, a Nansemond River canoe trip, and canoe clinics. So great programs to get on the water with, but if you're not familiar with a canoe, we also have a class to teach you how to use one. Now, let's put up that last poll question, and we can learn a little bit about what you might have learned tonight. And while we do that, what I'd like to do is ask you, for those of you who have logged on, if you would like to share with us about the things that you're interested in or what you do for recreation and leisure, or how you're coping with the stressors that are in your life right now, and perhaps maybe the types of programs and services that we offer that you might be using right now. Is that poll question up?
It is, and we'll give them about another 15 seconds to answer.
Fantastic. I don't see the poll question, but that's okay, because you can share with me the results in a minute. So while that is happening, I'm gonna, and I've got your,
So we'll close the poll in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fantastic.
And we're going to share the results. Looks like people learned a lot about the walking and biking trails.
Great.
As well as the indoor facilities, parks, and learned a lot about directed programs.
Okay.
So those three were split, but the biggest learning was on the trail.
Fantastic. Well, if there's nothing else, if there are no more questions, there's one more thing I want to share with you. It's kind of a shameless plug, but not really, because if you've got some teens that need to get active this summer, need to get out of the house, we can work something out, because I need lifeguards for that pool that I talked to you about. Feel free to call us. And by the way, if your teen has never been a lifeguard before, we can train them. We have another free lifeguard course coming up in April during the high school spring break, during the public school spring break period, April 5th through the 9th. So give us a call at the number you see there, or any of the numbers that we shared with you tonight, and say, hey, how can I get my teen registered for your lifeguard certification class? And then how can I help him apply to be a lifeguard at the Cypress Park pool this summer? Great way to get active, great way to get outside. So are there any questions at all?
No, I don't see any questions, but wow, talk about a lot of things that are going on and a lot of ways to get ourselves involved. Thank you very much, Mike. Jennifer, are you still around? Let's see. There she is. Okay. So thank you guys both very much. I'm taking your web picture so I can share it on our social media. Great job tonight. Thank you all very much for participating. As everybody knows, these will also be shared on our webpage as well as made available to those that registered but couldn't attend. Don't forget about our upcoming webinar series. This will be going on every Tuesday at 6:30 throughout March. And the next one is combating the COVID-15. So we welcome you to that. Other opportunities to participate in Suffolk Education Foundation activities are coming up on May 26th, which is our annual Gala for the Arts. We have absolutely amazing students that put on some amazing art projects. You were talking about some of the art that we have at the art gallery. I know that some of the students participate in that. I know many of us missed the Peanut Fest with the art gallery that was out there. So we will make sure that we put on the arts for the Suffolk community through Suffolk Public Schools. And then we have our annual golf tournament. Golf has not stopped anybody during this pandemic. I know many of the friends that are golfers. I need to get back out on the golf course. But our golf tournament will be October 29th. We invite you guys to participate. Any closing remarks, Mike or Jennifer?
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, just when in doubt, go to the website. All of our information is on there and you can connect with us there.
Yes, and we'll make sure that that's made known as well. So thank you guys again, and we are going to say goodbye for this evening.